Namaste, dear students. First of all, I want to welcome you to our English class of grade 7. I hope today also you might have been ready to learn your English subject. For that one, you need to have your, yes, English textbook, exercise book and pen or pencil. Are you ready with them? Very good. If so, today we are going to learn something new. I will tell you later about that, okay? So first of all, let's make a recall what we learned in our previous class. Can you tell me? Well, we did some task on the listening skill, okay? And then what did we do? Yes, under speaking skill, again we learned to suggest, we learned to advise, And then what did we do? Yes, we practice the words pronunciation, And at that time, we focused on stress, okay? So I gave you example, for example, dishonest. We pronounce honest louder, okay? Dishonest, okay? So we practice stress in our pronunciation. And today, we are going to learn something new. Can you guess what it is? Okay, I just want to show you. That is grammar 1. And you have already known that we are in unit 5. Okay, so are you ready with this heading, grammar 1? Very good. So first of all, I want to show you a short conversation. So for this one, you have to read this instruction first. Read the list of suggestions give to someone who has a toothache. For example, someone has got a toothache problem, okay? And what suggestion is given there? Now, can you guess? See, this boy says, I have got a toothache. This is a problem, Now, we have to suggest. We have to give advice, So, what can it be? We have practiced a lot. So, can you tell me? Well, you can say, you should go to a dentist. Say, you should go to a dentist. Next, you shouldn't have a cold drink. Okay, you shouldn't have a cold drink. Another can be, how about taking a painkiller? How about taking a painkiller? Okay. Next, if I were you, I would go to a dentist. See, if I were you, I would go to a dentist. Next, why don't you go to a dentist? Dear students, I hope you might have noticed the highlighted words in each sentence. Here, should go to, okay? And in the second sentence, we have shouldn't have, negative form of should. Next one is how about taking, how about plus ing, verb, okay? Then we have if I were you, I would go to, would go. We have already practiced under our speaking skill also. And here we have why don't you go. So these highlighted words are used, okay, to give suggestions or advices. And here under grammar 1, we are going to practice this should, would, how about taking, why don't you, if I were you and would go, okay. These things are we are going to practice. Is it clear all of you? So for this one, now we use these terms, these things to give suggestions or advices. Okay. So can you tell me the structure based on those examples that we have to use? Okay, you can tell me. It can be should plus infinitive. infinitive. Of course, there should be subject, okay? Subject plus should. Subject we need for all, okay? That's why I am writing only should. Plus infinitive. What do you mean by infinitive? I have already used this term many times. So what does it mean? Yes, it means verb 1, okay? So you have to practice saying infinitive. So another can be, it can be would plus again infinitive. infinitive, infinitive. Would plus infinitive. Again you can say that why don't you? Why don't you plus what is it? Verb ing or infinitive? Please all of you tell me. Yes, infinitive. infinitive, infinitive. Okay. Then again we have if I were you, if I, all of you tell me please. were you, then I would plus infinitive, infinitive, infinitive. We have to use these structures, okay? Now I want to show you whatever you have said. See, should plus infinitive. Another we can use would plus infinitive. Next one we have is how about taking plus you can add whatever the words you need. And again we have why don't you plus infinitive. These things we use, okay? So dear students, I hope you might have got these ideas because we practiced under speaking skill, even we practiced under listening skill, and again under grammar 1 also we are going to practice them. So for this one I have a task for you. So all of you be ready to do this one. Now in your exercise book you can just write down the word that is necessary in its blank, okay? And later on from your textbook you can write down these all sentences completely. Is that clear, all of you? Well, if so, now all of you read the instruction first. So the instruction says complete the sentences with the correct phrases used in A above. Used in A above means, see, we have these structures, okay? Like should plus infinitive, would plus infinitive, how about taking, why don't you, if I were you, you know, you have to use such things, okay? Still I want to show you more. This one, should go to, shouldn't have, or you can say shouldn't plus infinitive, how about taking, would go, okay? Here is if I were you, first part, why don't you? Is it clear, all of you? So all of you start doing now. Are you doing? Well, have you finished? Good. If you have finished, now let me check whether you are right or wrong. So the first sentence is, you blank space study hard if you want to improve your English. Now looking at this sentence, what word is necessary here? Do you write there verb ing or infinitive? Here is already infinitive, no? So what do you write down here? Should, would, why don't you, if I were you, how about, what is the correct one? Yes, here is subject and here is infinitive, and there is not two again. So you have to write down, yes, should. You should study hard if you want to improve your English, okay? You should study. So if you want to improve your English, you know, you can give advice like this. You should study hard. Now, number B. You blank space quit the job, you will be short of money. Now if you leave that job or if you don't continue that job, then you won't have money, you know, you will be short of money. So what is the suitable word that you need to supply in the blank? Have you finished? Okay, all of you tell me, what is it? All right, it is you should not quit the job. If you quit the job, then you will be short of money, okay? That's why you should not. So it is also an advice, you know. You should not quit the job. You will be short of money. If you quit the job, you won't have money, okay? Now, number C. You blank space get your mom a mobile phone for her birthday. So what can be the correct? Now again, here is infinitive, get, get. So what can be the correct word here? Yes, undoubtedly, again there should be should. You should get your mom a mobile phone for her birthday, okay? Now number D. Can you tell me you watch? Watch is again infinitive, you know. You watch that movie. It's really good. Now what is the correct word again? Suggestion. If that film is really good, you suggest to watch. So you can simply write down, you should watch that movie, it's really good, okay? Now, number E, can you tell me, why don't you, a new pencil? So after why don't you, what do we have to write down? Again, we need to write down infinitive, okay? Why don't you, we need to write down infinitive here. Is it clear? So what do you write down there? You can write down simply buy. Why don't you buy a new pencil? Okay, see, why don't you plus infinitive. Is it clear? And this is also used to suggest. This is also used to advise, you know. Is it clear? After this, now F. How about, now look at, How about is not writing here, so you can tell me how about, A-B-O-U-T, how about, then what is it? Verb ing, okay? Or you can say present participle. So how about, you have to write down ing form of the verb. So what is the correct word? Now simply you can write down how about buying a new book, or you can write down how about reading a new book, no problem. But your verb should be in ing form in this structure. Is it clear? Good. This is already tone, Now we have number G. How about? Number F and G, that is the same structure. So to the new restaurant, it's just open. So there is a new restaurant, okay? It's just open. Now you have to suggest how about. So what do you write down there? All of you tell me. Yes, you are correct. How about going to the new restaurant? Or you can write down how about visiting to the new restaurant, okay? Or you can write down ing form, which is suitable, that gives us meaning. Is that clear? Fine. Now next number we have is H. If I were you. Now look at were you. It is past tense, okay? Simple past tense. So when we have this structure, we have to use your would or could or should or might plus infinitive. We have already practiced a lot, okay? So what can be the correct word? Yes, you are right. Now it is I would help her. If I were you, I would help her. She really needed help. Okay. Dear students, I think from this task, you might have again understood that while we are advising, we can use the words. These words are also called model verbs, okay? Like should, negative form should not, would not, okay? And we can use these structures. Why don't you plus infinitive, how about plus verb ing. If I were you, then we have to write down would or could or should or might plus infinitive, okay? This is what. Now after this one, I have a task for you that you have to do at your home, okay? And this is interesting. See, your friend wants to go to visit a new place. Suggest him or her what preparations he or she should make for his or her visit. For example, your friend is going to visit a new place. Now you have to write down what he or she should do, what he or she should not do, okay? You can use those structures that we have just practiced. All of you, is it clear? Very good. Now this is the first part of our grammar 1. Now we are going to begin our another part, that is grammar 2, okay? So can you guess what are we going to learn under grammar 2 again? Don't worry, I am here to help you. So to know that one, first of all, you have to read this poem, okay? Read the poem and find out what the speaker would do if he or she were a bird. And this poem you can find in your unit 5 under extra bit, okay? This poem is taken out from extra bit. You can find in your textbook. You can turn the page and look at it. Now there is a bird. It means that this poem is related to bird, okay? And the poem goes like this. What's the title of the poem? I will soar, All of you say, I will soar. Now the poem. If I were a birdie, I would head up to the sky. I would spread my wings like sunshine. I know I could fly mighty high. So all of you read it out once. If I were a birdie, I would head up to the sky. I would spread my wings like sunshine. I know I could fly mighty high. Again, if I were a birdie, I would sing a lovely song. Everyone would stop and listen. They would begin to sing along. Now all of you read out it once again. If I were a birdie, I would sing a lovely song. Everyone would stop and listen. They would begin to sing along. Okay, now we have another stanza. If I were a birdie, I would flit about from tree to tree with many different flocks of birdies. We would be free to be free. Okay, now all of you once again read it out. If I were a birdie, I would flit about from tree to tree with many different flocks of birdies. We would be free to be free. Now Next stanza, the last stanza. If I were a birdie, I would head up to the sky. I would spread my wings like sunshine. I know I could fly mighty high. And this poem is composed by Annette R. Hersey. Okay. Now, dear students, here the main purpose of reading this poem is you have to notice the structure used in this poem. Now, can you tell me what structure is used here? See, of course, you can see the first line. Look at what is there. If I were, okay? If I were, and what is there? A birdie, a birdie, birdie. Now, another line you have to tell me. I would head up. I would, H-E-A-D, head up. What is the rest part? To the sky. Yes, to the sky. Okay. Now, here you have to notice the structure. The structure is C. If I were. Now, we use this. We practiced it. Okay. And here also we are talking in this poem. If I were. And then here is I would head. Now, here is would and this is infinitive. We have already practiced. The structure is if I were, W-E-R-E, were, and then plus something we need, and again subject, plus we have would, or you can write down could, or you can write down should, or there can be might. After this word, verb, you have to write down infinitive, I-N-F-I-N-I-T-I-V, infinitive plus necessary words we can write down. Now, can you tell me why do we use this structure? Do you have any idea? Well done. We use this structure if we want to express something that is impossible, that is imaginary, you know. For example, if I were a bird, if I say, do you think that I can be a bird? No, it is just my imagination. So if I were a bird, you know, I would head up to the sky, you know, I can fly like this. But the reality is that I cannot be a bird. Okay. So if we want to express this type of thing, at that time we have to use this structure. And grammatically, what do we say for this structure? Can you tell me? Yes, this is conditional sentence type 2. What is it? Yes, it is conditional sentence type 2. Now, after reading the poem, I have already shown you there. Can you tell me the structure of conditional sentence type 2? You just try to write it down in your exercise book and tell me, please. Are you writing? I hope you might have finished. Now, your structure should be like this. If plus subject, okay, then there should be plus simple past. You can understand as verb to. And then again plus necessary words, ideas you can write down. And in our another part, you have to write down subject plus would or could or should or might plus infinitive. You can see here, if I were a bird, see structure, if plus subject plus simple past, and here is necessary idea is a birdie, okay. And in our another part, you can find I would head up to the sky, subject plus would plus infinitive, okay. This structure is used to express the idea which is imaginary one. Is it clear, all of you? Well, if so, now you have to study these sentences to understand clearly. Now, all of you read out these sentences. Study the following sentences with their meanings. A. If I won the lottery. Now this won, W-O-N, won means it is the past form of win, W-I-N, win, okay. W-I-N, win is infinitive, and if I ask you to write its past form, then you have to write down won, okay. Now it is simple past. So if there is simple past, in the next part we have to use their would or could or should or might plus infinitive. And most of the time we use generally would, okay. Would plus infinitive we have. Here he says, if I won the lottery, you know, I would buy a big house. And in what situation we use this structure? Look at, I probably won't win the lottery. It means that there is a very less chance to win the lottery. So it is like imagination. If I get a huge amount of money, I can build a beautiful house. That is my imagination. So if I want to express it and it has less chance, I have to use this structure. Okay, simple past plus would, could, should, might plus infinitive. Is it clear? Next one, number B. She would pass the exam if she ever studied. Now here, would pass. Now if, this part is written in our second part. Okay, if is written. Now you should notice one thing there. That is, when we use if in the second part of the sentence, before if we don't use comma. Okay, for example, if I write down like this, if I were a bird, B-I-R-D, bird. Now you have to use comma there. Okay, then you have to write down, I would fly in the sky, in the sky, you know. Now if you write this sentence in this way, I would fly in the sky if I were a bird. I were a bird. Now here, if is written in the second part of the sentence. So before if, we don't use comma. But if we use this if clause in the first part of the sentence, then we have to use there comma. Okay, notice it. Now, number B, she would pass the exam if she ever studied. Now we can use this structure, she never studies, so this won't happen. So it means that she won't pass because she never studies. That I have told you that it is imagination. Impossible to pass for her because she never studies, and a person who does not study cannot pass the exam. Okay, so for this type of expression, you use this conditional sentence type 2. Number C, if I had his number, I would call him. I don't have his number now, so it's impossible for me to call him. This is also the same thing. Here is past tense. Had means past tense of have, okay, and then we have again would plus infinitive, and it is impossible. If I had his number means that I don't have his number. Okay, so if I don't have his number, then can I make a call? No, it is impossible. So to express this type of impossible action or imaginary action, you know, you have to use again the structure that is of conditional sentence type 2. Okay. Now D, if we had a garden, we could have a gardener. Now this is also imagination. We don't have garden. See, we don't have a garden now, but it is just imagination. If we had a garden, then we could have a gardener, but we don't have a garden. Okay, so it is just imagination. So dear students, from these examples, from these situations, you have to understand that if you want to express something impossible, if you want to express something imaginary one, you know, at that time you have to use conditional sentence type 2. And what is the structure again? All of you tell me. Yes, simply you can understand in one part, you can write down subject plus verb to, simple past, okay? And in another part, we would have would or could or should or might plus infinitive. And other necessary ideas you can add. This is the main structure of conditional sentence type 2. Is it clear, everybody? Very good. If so, now I have a task for you, and that is choose the correct option to complete the sentences. Now, what would you do differently if you now would plus we have infinitive do. So what is the correct one? If you do to this again, now we need again past tense there, simple past. And which one is simple past? We have had, have, would have. Which one? Yes, had is the simple past, have is infinitive, and again we have would have here. Again, this is not. So your answer should be had. What would you do differently if you had to do this again? You know, now like this, number B. If I blank space a bike, I would go to Mustang. Now what is the correct? Now again you have to look at this part. Here would plus infinitive, would go, imagination. But I don't have bike, so I cannot go to Mustang. So what is the correct word you have to write down? Here we need simple past. What do we need? Simple past. So what is the correct one? Buy or bought or will buy. Which one is the simple past, Bob? Here. Buy or bought or will buy. Which one is? Yes, you are right. That is, let me show, bought. Okay. If I bought a bike, I would go to Mustang. But I haven't bought a bike. I don't have bike now. Okay. It is an imagination. Number C. If I blank space you, I would go to the doctor's now. Again here you have to see here I and we have apostrophe comma D. It means that contracted form of I would. Okay. So would plus infinitive again. So if we have would plus infinitive again, you have to look at this part. And here again you have to supply there. Which form of the verb? Yes, that is simple past form of the verb. So what is the correct option here? Am or were or will be. Which one? Yes, your answer should be, if I were you, I would go to the doctors. Okay, if I were you, I would go to the doctors. Is it clear, all of you? Now next one we have is number D. If I blank space a car, I would learn to drive. Now again you have to look at the second part here. Would plus infinitive. It means that again you have to supply here simple past. So which one is the simple past form of the verb? Can you tell me? Is it had or will have or would have? Now all of you tell me your answer. Yes, this is, if I had a car, I would learn to drive. Okay. I hope you all might have done very correctly. If you all have done it correctly, now all of you clap for yourself. Now I have one more task for you, that is, use the correct forms of the verbs from the brackets to complete the sentences. Now the verbs are given in its bracket. Okay, in the first sentence you can find BEB, in the second sentence we have, in the third sentence we have not be. Okay, it is in negative form. And again in number D we have buy, number E we have again buy, number F we have travel. Okay, so you have to look at the both parts of the sentence and you have to supply. And don't forget, we are learning to use conditional sentence type 2. Now look at number A. All of you do it now. You can just write down the main verbs only, okay, right now, and later you can write the complete sentences. Are you writing? I hope you all might have finished. Let's have a discussion. A. If I blank space be you, I would get a new job. Now be means you have to understand be verb. Simple present form of be verb are is, am, are, and past form was or were. Okay. So if I would get a new job. Here is would plus infinitive. So you have to supply here simple past. And in this conditional sentence, whether it is singular or plural subject, you should not write I was. Okay. In this sentence, generally we prefer writing were, W-E-R-E, were. Okay. So you can say, if I were, if I were you, I would get a new job. All right. And it is also a kind of suggestion and imagination. If I were you, I would not be, I am myself, So number B, she would travel a lot if she have a car. Now past form of have you have to write down here. So what is the past form of have? Yes, you are right. That is had. She would travel a lot if she had a car. Okay. Number C. If we, now don't be confused, okay, here we have not and slash B. It means that you have to write it in negative form. And again, don't forget the past form of be verb. If we, what is it? Okay, let me show you. If we were not friends, I would be angry with you. Okay, so because of not, we have to add here negative marker, negative. Okay, if we were not friends, I would be angry with you. Now next one we have is D. If I had enough money. If I had enough money, it is just imagination. Right now I don't have money. Okay, I blank space, here is buy the verb a big house. So what is the correct form of buy? You have to write down simple past. So can you tell me the spelling of this verb? Simple past form of buy? It is, yes, I would buy a big house. Why, you know? Because we have here had. Okay, if I had, it is simple past. So if one side has simple past, another side we have to use there would or could or should or might plus infinitive. But if it is here bought, I bought, then we have to write down here, we have to write down would plus infinitive this side. Okay, now number E. If she had some money, she blank space buy some chocolates for us. Now again you have to look at this part. Here is had, and it is the simple past form of have, H-A-V, have. Now here you have to supply again would plus infinitive, and your answer should be, if she had some money, she would buy some chocolates for us, but she does not have money now. Okay, so it is also an imagination. If she had some money, then she could buy chocolates, but the problem, reality is that she does not have money. Now number F. If we won the lottery, we, the world. Now here is travel, here is we won, second form. Okay, you can say simple past of win. Now you have to supply here again would travel or could travel or should travel or might travel the world. If we won the lottery, we will travel the world, and it is again impossible. It is again imagination, because if we won, and there is a less chance to win the lottery, you know, and if we win the lottery, then only we get this chance to travel the world. So that's why it is an imagination. So dear students, from this exercise it is clearer to you that we use conditional sentence type 2 to express impossible or imaginary actions. Is it clear all? Very good. If so, now I have a task again for you. It is your homework under second part, under grammar 2, okay, and it's interesting. Now you have to imagine yourself, you know, if you were the coordinator of your school, what would you do to bring changes? Now suppose you are the coordinator of your school, and then what changes you want to bring? It is imagination. Now you are just a student, aren't you? Now if you were the coordinator, then what changes would you bring, you know, in your school? It is imagination. Okay, so to express your imagination, you have to use conditional sentence type 2, and you can begin your writing like this. If I were the coordinator of my school, I would bring many changes. See, here is were, okay, simple past, and again here is would plus infinitive. And in your rest of the writings, you have to use this structure. One side simple past, another side would, could, should, might plus infinitive. Is it clear, all of you? Very good. Dear students, I hope you might have got clear-cut concept of using conditional sentence type 2 and the verbs like should, would, and some expressions. Why don't you? How about if I were you, you know. So don't forget to use them in your daily life, in your day-to-day communication. I hope you might have fully enjoyed and engaged our today's class. Keep us watching. It's all for today. Have a wonderful time. Goodbye.